Well, everyone, he did it. After having $3 billion box office movies, James Cameron has become a billionaire himself. Can he make it 4 with Avatar 3? We'll find out. All spoiler-free.
This is Popcorn for Breakfast, presented by St. Louis Area Smoothie Kings. Now, here are your hosts, Cam and Kurt.
Welcome back to Popcorn for Breakfast. Do not adjust your screens. That's right. We are completely blue and completely in a surreal environment. Cam, I'm so excited for what you're about to build here with your post-production.
Yeah, that budget request that got denied, dude.
It did?
Yeah, yeah, by me. I denied it.
Oh, because you just didn't want
The
to...
call is coming from inside the house.
Incredible. I pitched to you right before this that
Yeah.
we should have mocap dotted ourselves.
You also pitched IMAX 3D, and I was like, that's literally impossible. Like, I don't even know how that works.
Like, we ship out 3D glasses to all of our listeners, and they put them on.
You have to watch it in a theater.
We charge $100 a ticket, so we can do everything we do. We're so excited you're here today. Cam had the opportunity to see the 3-hour and 17-minute Avatar 3. What's it even called? I don't even know.
Avatar Fire and Ash is what it's called.
Avatar, Fire, and Ash. What a great title. Straight to the point.
So we had Avatar. We had Avatar, the Way of Water.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's the Way of Water.
Just way, no the.
I think it's, Way of Water. Avatar Fire and Ash.
Okay. I have so many questions because I knew that I wasn't going to get to see this.
Yeah.
Because I was busy. I said, I'm not watching the trailers. I can't do it. I just want to know if it's good or not. Or rather, is it a movie for me or not is a better way to say that. Because people love the Avatar series.
Do they?
Well,
that's always been my question about it. It always does well. And I think that the first one did well because it was really well advertised, and it was James Cameron, and it was like, this is going to be the visual event of your life, which it delivered on that. Like, it was like a huge visual spectacle, and people saw it in 3D and were blown away. I remember seeing that movie in theaters, and then there was this huge gap of like, how much? It was like 13 years or something like that.
A lot.
It was a lot. And then we got Way of Water. And I think that the anticipation of like, okay, he's really doing it. He's making all these movies, and this is the second one, and it's been so long. It's going to look so great. Plus, we were coming out of COVID. Everybody went to see it. So I still have that question in my mind of like, do people love this series? Now that we're only, 2 or 3 years removed from the last one, will people go see it? Like, will it make $1 billion? That's an open question for me.
yeah. So like when you go to Disney World, Disneyland, you go to Avatar Land.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Narnia.
The
I know
world
it's not
of
Narnia.
Pandora, I think is what they call it at Disney's Animal Kingdom in Orlando.
Yeah. It's a spectacle. I don't know how they make the island float.
It's sick.
I don't get it. I want to know how. Maybe if I watch a documentary, it'll show me.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible to be there, immersed there. But yeah, do these movies have, other than a technical feat, do they have a cultural impact in our society?
I think so far the answer has been no.
Yeah.
I think one of the big complaints lodged against these movies is like, what's happening from a technical perspective is phenomenal, like you said, but what's happening from a story perspective is like pretty, if I'm being kind, like pretty not creative, and if I'm being mean, like pretty cliche, and just like stealing from a million other stories that people have heard a lot of times. Like, there's just nothing new, no new ground being broken there. So I think the part of going into this movie is waiting to see, because we know this is going to be like 5 movies, or so they say. Like, is this the turning point where we start to get into something new? And that was my big question heading into this one.
Well, we're going to dive into this. So strap in, listeners. This is going to be a 3-hour and 17-minute runtime episode, just like the movie.
That's right,
Cam?
Yep, I'm ready.
We're going to do our new format. Take 1, take 2, take 3. Not just the take kind of opinion, but the take as you would take a shot of a film for the actors, for the studio, for the costumers, for the whole production team, and then you have to take another one and another one until it's just right. So let's do it. Take one, Cam. What would you like to talk about?
Take one. I want to get into I want to get into like the story here and whether or not it answers that question. I just want to dive right into that of like, did they break new ground? And I think my short answer on that is no. Sadly for me, because I was really hoping that they would kind of turn a corner here from a story perspective and start to get into something different. I will say, like, there are things in here that are different. You know, it's not exactly the same as the second movie, but it is pretty darn similar.
Wow.
Oddly, like like at times for me, like a pretty shocking extent how similar it was. In fact, like there are huge action set pieces that if you stacked them next to the second movie, I just don't think they would look that different. I like big giant moments. And it's what's really interesting about it is like at the beginning we come out of the gate pretty strong. Like Act 1, there's a lot of new things being introduced. We of course like kind of start where the second movie left off. We're still like with that tribe of the Na'vi that lives on the water. That like the Kate Winslet tribe of people, and kind of dealing with the aftermath of that big battle at the end of the second movie. But it quickly gets into like a few different elements. Like here comes these new groups into the mix, and there's a couple of different competing forces. There are new conflicts with the like humans that are on Pandora that are of course like the inciting conflict here, like the Giovanni Ribisi group of people like trying to harvest and colonize this land for all of its minerals and stuff. There's like different angles of that.
The spice. They're trying to get the spice.
The spice, right. The spice. But it's like all of that stuff doesn't go super far. And we kind of just fall back into the same old stuff and the same old conflicts. And from a dialogue and, a storytelling perspective, there's just not a lot that's super interesting here. And I wanted that so much because I think it's cool to have like a big sci-fi movie where there's so much world building going on. And sure, like even the world building itself, you can be like, you can poke holes in it. Like it's cool that he created this whole people and this whole language and things like that. Like James Cameron is a very smart guy who's come up with a lot of really cool movie ideas over the years and has directed some of my favorite movies ever. But it's like even the world that he's built here feels a little bit undercooked. It's like they're big blue cat people, It's like, well, okay, but why? Like why are they? And the world is called Pandora. Like, come on, that's like pretty basic stuff. Like there's just like it's almost like if you gave somebody with, and this is going to sound super mean, so I don't mean for it to sound this mean, but
say it.
Like this whole Avatar concept almost feels like if you gave like a 5 to 7 year old a super massive budget where they could create this world. It's like if you asked a 5-year-old like what's the craziest kind of alien you can think of, they might say like a big blue cat. You know what I mean? Like they might, and this world might be like, oh, it's kind of like Earth but not. Like there's pieces of this where I'm like, I feel like you had the budget, but you didn't necessarily have the ideas. And like don't get me wrong, they've taken these ideas as pretty far, like with the creating the creatures and the languages and the tribes and all that stuff. But it's just like not that compelling. Like stack this up against some of our other big fantasy sci-fi worlds, like some of the great ones, Middle Earth in the Lord of the Rings, or like Star Wars, A Galaxy Far, Far Away. Yeah. And it's just like, it's not even close. I mean, it's not even close to the level of detail and imagination that's built into that. And so the point of me saying that was it needs a compelling story. And when the story is half-baked, it all falls apart.
Do you think that James Cameron has his own Avatar Na'vi suit at home? Like fully zips in, like silicone masks in, and he like sleeps in it?
I'll do you one better. I think that he can actually do the Avatar procedure. Like I mean, we're talking about a guy who has been to the bottom of the Mariana Trench,
Yes,
multiple times, and does all these crazy things for the sake of cinema and for the sake of his own hubris, frankly.
Avatar's actually a biopic. It's not.
He only made this movie so he could figure out the technology for himself.
Yes.
He's like, I need a place where I can do this without drawing weird looks from the government and things like that. So we're just going to call it a movie. That's my theory.
I love that so much, so much. Cam, tell us your take 2 on Avatar 3.
Yeah, let's go to the visuals. Beautiful. I don't think that's surprising. I saw this in IMAX 3D. I really like some of the new visual elements that we get. There are these like really early on in the movie, and I think they show these in the trailer, like these big flying merchant ships that just kind of like fly through the air. Beautiful. There's sort of like this partially organic, partially synthetic composition to them, where there's like they're like animal based, but you know there's like these traders who fly on them. I don't know. It's a crazy thing, and there's also just a lot of great color combinations. I still feel like the palette looks really good. I feel like visually there's so much in every frame to feast your eyes on. And I think that this is the thing that makes these movies so hard to judge as people who, you know, look at film in this way, is like the visually it's second to none. I mean, they just look awesome. And you know that there's a ton of state-of-the-art technology, movie-making technology being built into this, and this is like the proving ground for all of it. The motion capture is precise. It's really good. There's just a ton of detail, every single ounce of it. In the 3D, like, I don't see movies in 3D unless they're Avatar, and it's like so worth it to see it in that setting. Like, that's how I feel like it should be seen, and it's gorgeous and beautiful. So it's like, this is the thing that I feel like has always sort of handicapped the critical reception of Avatar. Is like, I think people want to dog it for all of those story reasons and things like that I've called out, but it's always like, but it looks incredible. And it's like, so from if you're someone who admires film and the art of filmmaking, it's really hard to not tip your cap and be like, holy cow, like this is scale.
Yeah.
And it's enormous scale, and it's a massive cinematic achievement on the visual effects side of things. But I think there's a limit. I think there's a limit to how much you can handicap a movie's effectiveness on just the visual impact. And so it's like, especially a 3 hour and 17-minute movie, right? Because then it becomes like, okay, why do we need 3 hours and 17 minutes? What's the story you're telling me that justifies that?
Right.
And I think that's where these movies keep getting longer and longer, and dare I say it, like less and less interesting. Not because each individual movie is less interesting than the last, but because the sum of the parts is not getting more interesting, and so it just continues to get longer and like not more interesting, and so it just kind of drags it down. But all that is to say, like, the visuals are incredible. I'm obviously not breaking any new ground saying that, but I don't think they are enough to save it, which is I felt that a lot with Way of Water, because Way of Water felt different enough to me from Avatar 1 from a story perspective, and then the visuals were spectacular on top of it, and there was this whole new like underwater element and all these new creatures and things like that, to where I was like, okay, that was worth the price of admission. Whereas like this one, we're kind of just doing the same things, and so I'm like, the visuals are still great, but you're not giving me anything super new. There are some new elements, but it's not super duper new, and the story's definitely not new, so it doesn't justify its own existence.
I don't know how much you can speak on this while we remain spoiler free. I felt that when the title came out, Fire and Ash, that we would be on like a volcano land.
Yeah.
That these people would be like, so if the Way of the Water, they've adapted to the water in such a strong and valiant way that we would have like these lava people. Like, can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, I will speak to that, because I think it's an important thing, because to your point, in Way of Water, it was like, this is the Way of Water, and this is this tribe of different Na'vi that we're being introduced to, and they have this whole other way of life that revolves around the ocean. Mm-hmm. And we spend so much time digging into that. With this movie, it is not that. It's not like, here's this other tribe of Na'vi that are like the fire ash people, and let's spend a bunch of time with them. You don't spend enough time with them.
What?
They are there, and they are as shown in the trailer, like
the villains,
an antagonistic force, and like a threat to Jake Sully and his family. But it's not the same level of in-depth where it's like, let's spend some time with these people and get to know them and have their way of life and why they are this way and things. Like, the deep dive is not there. I wanted more of that. It's such a tease to be like, look at this tribe of people, and their land is like very dry, and they look like this, and they have this different kind of culture, and it's like, ooh, like what's that about? Why are they like this? And they just never go there.
That's silly.
It's very silly. We spend a ton
more
of time
back in the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Jimbo, I don't know if you're going to hit that 4th movie.
I don't know.
Oh, we'll find out. Well, let's talk about take 3, Cam. What do you want to kick off with?
Yeah, I think for me, it ties back to the story, but it's mostly just like, it's more than that. It's more than just like how in the story they didn't do anything new or exciting that hasn't been done or that gets you excited. It's more just like the choices made in this movie, I didn't feel like served the movie at all. And it goes beyond story. I feel like it goes to everything, but it's almost like the wrong choice was made at almost every turn for me. Like, the choice to continue to lean on this spider character, which is a huge focal point of this movie, which I think we all kind of expected based on the second movie, was like, okay, here's the spider person. He's a human who has an affinity.
He's Tarzan.
Right. Exactly. He's Tarzan. Like, he has an affinity for the Na'vi. He doesn't want to be a human. He wants to be a Na'vi, whatever. They started to build that up. This movie is like the spider show.
No.
Yes. It is. And like, there's that whole thing at the end of the second movie. So, like, this has spoilers for the second movie, just so you know, where it's like Quaritch, who's played by Stephen Lang,
okay,
the military guy,
yep,
does not die at the end of the second one.
Terrible. Which
is like, can we please stop with this antagonist? So one-dimensional. It just sucks.
Yes.
Like, there's just, again, 2 3-hour movies, I feel like we completely exhausted that character. Let's please move on.
You know what he looks exactly like? He looks like the personification of the lead evil soldier in Small Soldiers.
Yes.
that's probably his motivation for all of his work. He's like, I'm that guy. I'm that toy. I'm just a soldier. He's so bad. Like, I've never seen him in anything else, but I can't imagine him being a very flexible, durable actor. It bothers me so much when he's in these movies.
Yeah.
And so he's the star of the show again.
He's a huge part of it. And the fact that, him. So in the second movie also, it's revealed that he is Spider's dad.
Yeah.
Right.
Dumb. Yeah.
So much of that is central to this movie. The relationship between those two and the juxtaposition of those two. And it's just really uninteresting. So there's that. I think the reliance on Spider is a bad choice. I mean, no offense to that kid, but I just feel like it's not a super strong performance. I'm just going to say that. I don't feel like it's a strong performance all around. I don't feel like there are a ton of strong performances in this franchise to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Zoe Saldana, because she's always great and very committed. And there are a few other like good ones, but like, I don't love Sam Worthington in this series. I don't love a lot of what's happening from an acting perspective in this series. And I feel like Spider is just more of that, only like to the nth degree. So that's a bummer. The Quaritch stuff, like this like his obsession with like being this avatar warmonger and just the super outdated military tropes that like James Cameron has been using forever. It just is so cringe. It's so hard to not hate it because it's just the same type of dialogue and hoo-ah and all that stuff that it's just like, come on, man. This is so tired, so old. It's just bad. And then I think probably the most sinister thing that this movie does.
There's something more sinister. That's crazy. Let's go.
It's just like I said, my first and the first and third take are kind of blending together. Forgive me for that. But the first take, I talked a lot about the story. Like, there are things in this story that's like the things in the, like, I'm circling back. So my point with this third take is like they make the wrong choices. There are elements in this story that are new that they just like tease you with, and then they're like, but we're not going to dig into that. So it's like the fire people, I already talked about that. Like, really cool. These are like super hateful, like pirate type people. Like, what is their deal? Never really super get into that at all. And it's like, you almost want, with this whole colonization of Pandora that's happening, where like humans have come from Earth to Pandora to like colonize it. You want there to be like more forces than just like the initial military front. It's like, well, as they make progress in colonizing Pandora, like what other sorts of antagonists could come from that group? Like what are the economic kind of tensions that build and things like that, or ecological tensions that build a la Fern Gully and things like that. But they tease you with it. They're like, here's the military base. Remember this? And it's like more built out, and there's like people there, and you're like, oh, this is interesting. I'd like to learn more about this. Nope, just a tease.
That's Avatar 5. Sorry.
Yeah. And there's even like there's a bit at the beginning. There's bits throughout this, and I think this is teased in the trailer too, where like Jake Sully finds himself having to rely on Quaritch at times, to where they have to like team up, which again is like lazy, but it's like at least it's different, you know. And all of those things are so fleeting, so short lived. They don't get into any of it to the point where it's just like, man, what are we doing? And it's like, let's go back to the water people and do the thing with the whales. And I'm just like, come on, guys. Like at the risk of just talking really down to this movie and oversimplifying it, like that's how it feels. I feel like there were options here to go and do interesting things, and I felt like James Cameron just didn't do it.
You know what I think you should do? This is my note for James Cameron, so coming close. For Avatar 4, I think they should do what Shrek did in the second or third one, where they become full ogres, right? Shrek's always been an ogre. Fiona obviously goes back and forth, but like when they are humans for like a long time, I think they should avatar themselves into humanity, into like the human like Earth world, and like go live amongst themselves. Maybe Quaritch is going to like back to his human self, and has to navigate some of the military, like infiltrate the military. But I think they should do a Shrek. Like,
there have been rumors that like at some point this series will return to Earth.
Oh my gosh!
That like the Na'vi will take flight through space to go back to Earth to put an end to this.
Oh man!
But I got to be honest with you, and this is again remaining spoiler free. I don't think I've given anything away that's like major spoilers, but keep me honest in the comments. I've been trying. Like, I don't know what a fourth movie looks like. If it's more of this, and this, just check your notes. This is the longest movie out of all of them so far. Mm-hmm. Like, then what are we doing?
Right.
That's what I left going. That's what I left this movie going, was what are we doing? Because I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm curious if number 4 will get made. Is it filmed? I can't remember.
It's hard. I think so. I think they filmed these like last. I think they're still working on them, but like they're filming them all concurrently.
Oh, what a nightmare! This is the.
And maybe that's why 2 and 3 are so similar, and maybe because there was that big gap between like 1 and 2 where they needed to build the infrastructure for the remaining films. So maybe we just won't get that big like. Here's a big new different thing that we got from 1 to 2 that I was kind of craving in this one. I don't know.
And poor Jim Cameron. Like, this is what he's doing the rest of his life.
This is it. like one of the premier directors in all of cinema has spent 20 years on this, or will have spent 20, 25 years on this. Man. Like, with each movie, it becomes more and more clear, like, you know,
it's sad.
It's sad too, because I feel like he thinks he's making this cool, awesome, like like he tries so hard to sell this as like this big space epic, like, oh, this is like a big Western or like a big like, think about like the amazing epic films over the years, like Ben-Hur and
Flash Gordon, Star Wars.
Yeah, Lawrence of Arabia. Like this is that.
Yeah.
It's not that. And it's so far from that from a storytelling perspective. I don't give a crap about Jake Sully or his. I just don't. Like I would like to, because I've now dedicated like more hours of my life than I would like to talking about it and watching these movies. Like that's 9 hours already right there. But I just don't. It's not there.
Yeah, we want, every time we go into a movie, we want it to be successful. We want it to be worth our time. We want to cheer it on. We want to celebrate it. But unfortunately, that's not always the case.
Yeah,
so,
I was legitimately, I think, higher than most people on Avatar: Way of Water, and I do think I would still adjust my score down a little bit from where I was on that movie whenever we reviewed it, because I think I gave it like an 8 or something like that, and I think that's too high. But I do think at the time I was really excited about it, and I felt like it was different enough and new enough to where I was like, yeah, I'm vibing with this. Like I could get down with this. So yeah, I went into this one like expecting another step forward, and I felt like we got a significant step backwards.
It's frustrating. Tell us your last looks here, Cam. What is the final parting words? Look dead into that camera, into Jim Cameron's eyes, and tell him what you think about this movie.
Jimbo, buddy. I can't even look at you. I don't know. I'm trying. No, love you. Love Aliens. Love T2. Like, honestly, there's so many good things.
True Lies.
Yeah. Titanic. Like, come on. There's some great stuff. Great filmmaker. I'm done with this, I think. The visuals are awesome, and I'm so stoked that I got to see it in IMAX 3D, and I feel like anybody who goes and sees it, go see it in IMAX 3D, because that's ultimately what we're all there for, is the visuals, and it delivers on that for sure, as did the first and second films in the series. But the story stuff, it's long gone. We have lost the plot. I do not feel interested or compelled to continue on with this series. I just don't, and I don't feel like the visuals are enough anymore to make it worth the price of admission, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, outside of that, like I think I've said everything I need to say. I am at 4.8.
Whoa.
I know that's and that feels really low, but I'm telling you guys, I can't give it a 6 or 7 on visuals alone. Yeah. And that's really, like, as I'm grasping for things that I like about this movie, that's really it. There are some moments that I'm like, ooh, this is cool. This is fun. It's so fleeting, man. It's so fleeting. And there's so much other time where I'm just like, what are we doing? And I'm disassociating because I'm just like so uninterested. It's
proud of you.
Too far. And I had to go there.
I'm proud of you, Cam. I feel like you are, you give the benefit of the doubt more than I do.
I try to. I really do, because I love movies.
But I think it's appropriate here because he's already had 2 installments. Here's his third. Make it amazing.
Yeah.
Make it amazing, and it's not there. So that's
this was like a fool me twice, shame on me situation where it was like Avatar 1 is what it is. You can't really judge it until the second one. Second one, I was like, okay. There was enough different here where I'm like, okay, the third one, I'm like, okay, we're cooked. Like, we're done. I'm not falling for this again. Like, I'm not going into Avatar 4 with high expectations. I have no idea what they could possibly do with that movie that would make me interested in seeing it, because I'm checked out.
I don't even think I'll see the third one or the fourth one or the fifth one or the sixth one.
And it's funny because I'm always like, definitely pro theaters. I would love to see this do $1 billion, because I would love to see any movie do $1 billion. You know, like I would love to see Ella McKay do $1 billion. I don't care. I'm for it, and I think you should go see it and form your own opinion. But I'm also like, as someone who watches a lot of movies, I'm like, there's 3 hours and 17 minutes that I could direct you in the direction of a different theatrical release that you could spend your money on, and it would not be this one. This comes out this weekend. Like, go see Marty Supreme whenever it comes out Christmas Day. Like, go see, Hamnet is out. Like, like go see that stuff. Go watch the new Knives Out movie. Like, I don't know, that like this for me, it's not it.
That's not it.
It's not it.
Well, Jimbo, That's really, we've said our piece. I don't really have anything to scold you with
Still
anymore.
love you, Jim.
Yeah, there's a human in you, and I feel like, maybe this is sort of a Frankie Valli situation. Maybe Jim Cameron has gotten caught up in the mob, and they're like, "You keep making those Avatar movies, get that money," and he's just dancing on stage. He's like, "All right, I'm doing these Avatar movies," because I would just want more creative things out of him for the next couple of years. I want this movie to not make the money it will make, and I want to
We'll see, dude. We will see. I haven't seen any of the box office projections for it yet, which I feel like are usually out. I just haven't seen any chatter about it.
Yeah, it feels like the marketing on this is low, not big.
I just wonder. I'm wondering if it will. I kind of don't think it's going to hit $1 billion.
Yeah,
I kind of don't. I think it's going to be a lot lower.
If it shifts him back into real storytelling, then it'd be great. It'd be really great. So, go see Avatar 3.
Fire and Ash.
Avatar Fire and Ash. Go see it. Hopefully you watch it before you watch this review so you can point at the screen like Leo DiCaprio, like, yes. I felt the same way, just like Cam did here. I think it's going to be a pretty universal movie. I don't think you're going to be loving it or hating it. I think it's, maybe you will. I feel like more people will lean towards, that wasn't the sauce.
I do also feel that way.
I don't feel like there's going to be people cheering this and championing it on. So, and
I feel strongly that way.
That's having planted my flag and saying I'm probably not going to see this thing too. But check out all of our very exciting reviews. This one was still exciting because I wanted to see which way that it tipped.
Yes.
We're so thankful for you. Thanks for joining us on our spoiler-free adventure movie podcasts every single week. We got all the content in the world for all of our visual content right here. If you're watching us, check out our YouTube channel. For all of our audio content, wherever you will happen to listen to podcasts, which is usually Apple Podcasts or Spotify, but there's some weird ones out there. And for all of that content and our written content, check out our website at popcorn4breakfast.com. That's popcorn4breakfast.com. Thank you. Like, subscribe, follow, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.